Despite everything that can happen over the course of a full college and high school season, we in large part know who some of the top draft picks are going to be a year in advance. For example, in last year's version of this video, we already knew that 4th overall pick Ethan Holiday, 2nd overall pick Tyler Bremner, 6th overall pick Seth Hernandez, and 11th overall pick Jamie Arnold were all going to be some of the top selections in the 2025 draft, with 1st overall pick Eli Willits making his appearance in the Part 2 version of last year's video. Therefore, with the amount of accuracy that we have in predicting some of the top draft prospects a year in advance, I will work to familiarize you guys with some of the top prospects in the 2026 MLB draft by highlighting their background, strengths, areas that they may need to work on, and top it all off with an MLB comparison. But before we get on to the video, could you guys please hit the like and subscribe button real quick? Currently, only 3% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if y'all do, not only would it help me grow my channel, but also would encourage me to create more videos like this one for you guys. Without further ado, let's get into the players. Unlike last year, where there were a bunch of guys in the running for the number 1 overall pick, as of now, there is pretty much a consensus number 1 overall selection for the 2026 draft, and that is UCLA's Roch Cholowsky. Attending Hamilton High School in Chandler, Arizona, the same school that produced Cody Bellinger, Cholowsky was considered a borderline first-round pick during the 2023 draft, but his strong commitment to UCLA did end up leaving him undrafted, which so far has worked out very good for him, as Cholowsky, after a strong freshman season posting an OPS just a tick under 900 as their third baseman, completely broke out in his sophomore season after transitioning to shortstop, as he hit 23 home runs with a 1.19 OPS in 66 games, winning the Brooks Wallace Award given to the top college shortstop, as well as the Big Ten Player of the Year Award and Baseball America's College Player of the Year Award. In terms of his skill set, there's frankly not a ton of holes in his game. As a high schooler, Cholowsky's best tool was his defense. He's got a great arm that got him an offer from Notre Dame to be their quarterback, and a ton of athleticism that translates into great range at the shortstop position. In 2025, that defense has continued at the college level, and Cholowsky is now considered to be one of the best defenders in the entire draft class. And offensively, his sophomore numbers speak for themselves. He's got plus power from the right-handed side, already has generated some in-game exit velocities north of 110 miles per hour, and has more walks than strikeouts. He's a complete player, as even his base running and feel for the game is also a huge plus. And after looking at his profile, there's no wonder as to why he's considered the top prospect in this year's class. I would say Cholowsky's upside case is an even better version defensively of Bobby Witt Jr., as a true 5-tool player who has the glove to anchor an infield and the bat to carry a team for extended periods at a time with both power and contact abilities. And although there is a gap between Cholowsky and the other draft prospects for now, don't let that diminish the talents afterwards, as all of them are still some elite prospects in their own right, with cases of their own to potentially go number 1 overall. With teams craving young, projectable players at premium positions, a couple of high school shortstops could make a compelling case for the team with the first pick. Namely, I think that the high schooler who has the best case to challenge Cholowsky for the number 1 overall pick is shortstop Jacob Lombard out of Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida. The younger brother of former first-rounder and Yankees top prospect George Lombard Jr., Jacob Lombard has all the tools you want to see for a high school shortstop. From the right-handed side, Lombard already is generating some elite exit velocities for his class. And with great barrel speed and a 6'3" frame, some scouts believe that he could grow into one of the elite power hitters from the shortstop position if he fills out his frame. And yet, while the power potential seems like a standout trait, Lombard's defense and athleticism almost match that tool stride for stride. Lombard clocked in a 6.11 60 time in his showcase, and he's considered a smooth enough defender to play shortstop at the major league level. Although, he also does have the athleticism and arm strength to potentially move around the outfield or infield if need be. Nonetheless though, regardless of Lombard's long-term position, he has all the tools and projectability that teams just love. So expect to hear his name get called up very early on in the draft, with an upside case of Manny Machado with the power potential and smooth defense at both shortstop or third base. And sticking with that theme of projectable high school shortstops, Grady Emerson out of Fort Worth Christian is another elite high school shortstop prospect who could see his name get taken very early on in the 2026 draft. A couple of months younger than Lombard, Emerson doesn't display the same kind of sheer raw power, but possesses a very solid hit tool from the left-handed side. He is comfortable using the whole field and can really drive the ball with authority to left field with power. He also has a very swing-happy approach that limits strikeouts, but also does stymie walks as well. A lefty Jacob Wilson in that regard. There are times in which there is a lack of power and he'll definitely roll over on a couple of breaking pitches, but he's still generating some elite exit velocities for his class. Defensively, he's great and should be able to stick it at shortstop as well. He's athletic enough to be a plus base runner with good range, and has an arm that has been clocked up to 90 miles per hour on the mound, so it should be no issue around the infield. So even without elite power, I still think that Emerson brings enough upside with the bat to complement great defense to be an intriguing profile for teams picking at the top of the draft. And switching back over to the college level, Alabama shortstop Justin Lebron has just as a good case as anyone on this list to be the top pick if he continues to have strong numbers going into his junior season. As a high schooler in Florida, LeBron wasn't considered an elite prospect, but committing to Alabama, he broke out as a freshman, earning Freshman All-American and All-SEC in 2024. As a sophomore, his numbers took a step forward, and he finished the season with 18 home runs and a 1.057 OPS in 59 games, earning All-American and finishing as a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award. Offensively, LeBron is not a complete hitter yet, which leads some intriguing upside to his game. He has great power and exit velocities and loves to ambush fastballs. However, in his sophomore season, LeBron chased more breaking pitches out of the zone and notably is still growing into a 6'2" frame. Should LeBron continue to demonstrate increasing power numbers while gaining more reps against off-speed pitches, then he could be the best overall hitter coming out of this class. Defensively, LeBron is on par with Cholowsky. He's got great athleticism showcased with 17 stolen bases to only 1 caught stealing, and that translates well to the shortstop position, where he combines that rangy ability with smooth mechanics that should fare him well at the major league level. Altogether, LeBron's profile reminds me of a younger Dansby Swanson, which is good to hear considering that he was the number 1 overall pick in his draft. Switching off the shortstop position now, Georgia Tech outfielder Drew Burres and his bat may just be enough to get him selected number 1 overall. And if not, he still has all the tools to be selected very highly in next year's draft. At 5'9 inches, Burres' size will be the main thing that scouts and analysts will talk about surrounding him in the draft. However, throughout his career so far at Georgia Tech, he has shown an almost unbelievable set of tools for his size, hitting 25 home runs as a 19-year-old and following that up with a 19 home run season in 2025, all while hitting for average and getting on base as well, with 111 career walks to only 79 career strikeouts. In terms of what has been shown, Burres has frankly been the best hitter in this class, and for any team that may want a player who can move up the minor leagues fairly quickly, Burres can be an intriguing option for them, already with elite level bat speed and an approach that has been optimized for elite power potential for his size. On defense, his strength suits him well for a corner outfield position, where he'll be a plus defender there. However, he does also possess the athleticism to hold his own down in center field, and can also be a plus base runner as well. Burres will be one of the players I will keep an eye on during the 2026 collegiate season and heading into the draft process. I am very curious as to how teams will value his production versus maybe some other players' projectability. Nonetheless though, what he has showcased up to this point has been frankly incredible, and his power potential for his stature reminds me of a right-handed Corbin Carroll. And staying with the outfielders, Virginia outfielder AJ Gracia is another elite collegiate bat who has showcased some impressive numbers to put himself in the ranks as one of the top prospects in the 2026 draft. In his first 2 seasons at Duke, Gracia has been great, with a combined OPS near 1,000 and 29 home runs in 120 games. From the left-handed side, Gracia has plus power potential, and many scouts believe for him to post consistent 30-homer seasons in the middle of a lineup. However, Gracia's contact abilities will need to take a step up for him to jump into first overall considerations. By all accounts, his understanding of the strike zone is great, and this is shown by having more walks than strikeouts in his collegiate career. However, this is a bit misleading, as even though he doesn't strike out a ton, this does come at the cost of early count outs and weak contact. If Gracia can become more consistent in making hard contact specifically, in which he has all the tools and peripherals to do so, then he could not only see some college hardware coming this way, but also a top pick in the 2026 draft. Defensively, it's not anything to write home about, so the bat will have to carry his profile, but he is athletic enough and has enough strength to be a better than average defender at a corner outfield position at the major league level, similar to prime Michael Brantley but with more power. And even though it's not the current strength of this draft class at the moment, I'm going to round out this list with a trio of the top pitching prospects in the 2026 draft, and starting on the college side of things, I think that Coastal Carolina's Cameron Flukey is right now a smidge ahead of the others as the top pitching prospect. The thing I like most about Flukey is his size and projectability. He's got a large frame at 6'6", and hopefully, if he puts on a couple more pounds of muscle, he can consistently touch those elite level velocities, which have topped out at triple digits with the fastball. However, what has prevented his step into becoming truly dominant at the college level, rather than just good, is the shape of said fastball as well as the development of his secondary offerings. The fastball, while great in velocity, has a fairly straight movement profile, meaning that it can get hit pretty well despite its speed. Additionally, it was clear this season that the slider, curveball, and changeup are still developing, so his performance with the shape of said fastball, as well as his developments with said off-speed pitches, will be crucial towards determining his overall draft stock. But should he show leaps and bounds similar to his jump from his freshman to sophomore season, then he has all the measurables to hear his name get called very early on draft day, and possesses upside to a career that can be as dominant as a healthy Tyler Glasnow. And sticking with the theme of lanky, projectable college starting pitchers, UC Santa Barbara righty Jackson Flora could be a top draft selection if he continues the success he found in the starting rotation as a sophomore. Standing at 6'5" and 205 pounds, Flora began his career as a freshman in the bullpen, showcasing good, albeit not jaw-dropping numbers in his age 19 season. However, transitioning to a starter in 2025, Flora showcased immense growth, as the walk rate was more than cut in half, and he's now striking out well over a batter per inning, all in his first collegiate career as a starter. In terms of his repertoire, it's not hard to see why he had this kind of success. He possesses a fastball that comfortably sits in the mid to high 90s and can hopefully touch triple digits in his junior season after another year of development, and in terms of the off-speed, he has a very nice slider which is great against righties. However, in order to become a truly dominant pitcher and hear his name get called at the very top of the draft, he needs to refine other breaking pitches in either a curveball or a changeup, especially against lefties. There's definitely some reliever risk with Flora, but he has a very nice baseline to work with and 2+ pitches already in a fastball and sweeper. Right now, I see a lot of Logan Gilbert potential in his game. Finishing up this list with a high school player, two-way phenom Cole Koeninger out of Keller, Texas will be another player to watch during the high school season, especially considering that we don't know where he will ultimately play professionally, as scouts are split on whether he will become a pitcher or shortstop. As a pitcher, Koeninger from the right-handed side touched 98 last year with a fastball that usually sat in the mid to low 90s with cut movement. He also has 3 other solid, if not above average off-speed pitches and a curveball, which typically sits in the low 80s to high 70s, a slider sitting in the low 80s, and a changeup that sits at the same speed as the slider and moves opposite to it. A full starter's workload that is already being developed at such a young age. Meanwhile, as a shortstop, Koeninger's arm strength on the mound translates to well above average defense on the left side of the infield. And at the plate, Koeninger has shown power potential with an advanced approach at the plate for using the entire field. It really is anyone's guess right now as to what teams will see Koeninger as, but considering the projectability of high school shortstops over high school pitchers, I'd give the slight edge to the position player side of things for now. But still, with a developing profile on both sides, I think that Koeninger has a very good shot to be a top pick for either one. Hints of a shorter Grayson Rodriguez and a Bo Bichette bat with better defense is a very nice archetype to have if you're a team picking at the top of the draft. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below new video ideas. Also, comment down below if you'd like to see a part 2 for this video. In terms of updates to this channel, I will be making videos a little bit less frequently now as I will be starting up university again, but I will still try to make videos occasionally. Still, let me know in the comments down below if you have any great ideas, and without further ado, I will see you guys all in the next one. God bless.